We are the Group 3 and this is our presentation about Draize eye testing. There are hundreds of substances are used daily that can damage eyesight. So people's eyes are open to accidental or intentional exposure during the production, transportation, use, and disposal of chemical preparations. So this test involves a standardized protocol for instilling agents into the cornea and conjunctiva of laboratory animals. Advances in ocular toxicity are challenging the validity, precision, relevance, and need of the Draize eye test. The preclinical product safety tests with rabbits and other mammals also raise ethical concerns of animal well-being. So some use the Draize eye test as a rallying point for how animals are treated in science and industry. The molecular measures of ocular toxicity may eventually allow comprehensive screening in humans. The Draize eye test was created and refined for humanitarian reasons and has assuredly prevented harm. Its destiny is to be progressively supplanted as in vitro and clinical alternatives emerge for assessing irritancy of the ocular surface.
Draize eye, the purpose, use, and the tools. So we all know that eyes are frequently exposed to chemicals accidentally or on purpose due to their the external location. So therefore, the chemicals are required to undergo the evaluation of the ocular irritancy for their safe handling and use before their release into the market. So stress test is an acute ocular toxicity test that developed in 1944, and then the purpose is to provide a method for assessing the irritation potential of materials that might accidentally come into contact with human eyes, such as mga household cleaners, like for example mga laundry detergents, mga insect repellent, and other cosmetics. Next is the agricultural. So being exposed to certain pesticides nagakause siya sang eye irritations. Next is mga environmental chemicals like for example, air or yung mga dust. So during mid-20th century, si Draize eye is become governmentally endorsed method to evaluate the safety of materials meant for use in or around the eyes. But it has been criticized with respect to animal welfare due to invasive and cruel procedures. So, si Draize eye is nagasave thousand of people from severe eye damage and blindness. So the use of anesthetic, the OECD or European Chemical Industry Ecology and Toxicology Center recommends that anesthetic may be used if it is thought that the test substance may cause unreasonable pain, at the same time instillations into the eyes. Second is the irrigation. So washing is recommended by the OECD 24 hours after the installation of the test materials from the conjunctival sac. So irrigation may be indicated siya for substance shown to be irritating. So this performed 30 seconds after the material has been applied to eye and is continued for 30 seconds.
And now let's proceed to the procedure or the technique. We have the Draize rabbit eye test, the organotypic models or the organotypic models, the in silico models, the RHCE or the reconstructed human cornea-like epithelium, And lastly is in chemical test. First, we have the Draize rapid eye test. Is an acute toxicity test for assessing the effects of chemicals, substances, and mixtures in terms of their potential to cause eye irritancy or damage to the eye. As we can see on read naman that the Draize rapid eye test is to assess the effects of chemicals, substances, and the mixtures in terms if naabay sila potential nga makakos ang eye irritancy or makadamage sang eye. Example, if meron silang itest na chemical tapos ilagay na nila yun sa eyeball nung rabbit, i-observe nila kung ano yung magiging effect ng chemicals or kung yung chemicals na gigamit nila or gitest nila is makakos pa sang eye irritancy or makadamage sang eye. Totally makadamage siya sang eye. Also, sa Draize rabbit eye test is kailangan din talagang i-observe yung changes ng cornea, ng conjunctiva, and iris of the rabbit eyeball. Also, this test kay ginayus pud siya sa FDA to evaluate the safetyness of different substances such as insecticides, sunscreens, and antiseptics. And second is the organotypic models or organotypic models. Example of this is the ex vivo ocular organotypic models. These models use fresh isolated organs such as eyeball, corneas from bovine, porcine, chicken, or rabbit from slaughterhouses or after euthanasia to avoid sacrificing animals only for the eye irritation test. Kaya ang technique or model naman na ito is like sabi ko nga kanina, ginayos nila is yung mga fresh isolated organs. Tapos, yung pag-test naman nila nito is halimbawa if mag-test sila ng chemical, if nagalagay sila ng chemical doon sa eyeball nung rabbit, gentle lang silang nagkalagay unlike sa ibang test nga parang dinidiin nila. Also, sa ex vivo ocular organotypic models na ito, belong dito yung isolated rabbit eye test or the IRE test. Ang advantage or yung kagandahan ng IRE test kay ang ginatest nila or ang kinukuhanan nila nung mga eyeball is yung mga patay na god, yung mga dead animals na tapos kinukuha nila yung whole eyeball ng animals. Tapos, let's proceed to number 3 in silico models. In silico models are computer-based method to predict ocular irritancy of materials reliant on the previously obtained data set of in vivo result. Tapos, ang in silico models kay do not use laboratory animals or tissues, and cost and time to get results are low compared to other alternatives. Kay, diba, dito naman ang model, kay meron itong algorithm or meron silang process na sinusunod or set of rules to predict the toxicity materials based on the relationship between the physicochemical properties and bioavailability. In silico models kay currently na nagka-use nito is in cosmetics and pharmaceutical industry. Tapos, kay, di ba, ang silicone models kay na ang computer-based method sila. Ang ini-employ nila kay more sophisticated software to predict eye irritancy. Parang yung mas prefer nila yung maghanap ng sophisticated na mga software para mapadali yung pag-predict nila ng mga eye irritancy, ganun. Fourth is the reconstructed human cornea-like epithelium. This method is for identifying chemicals not requiring classification and labeling for eye irritation or serious eye damage. The test evaluates the ability of test chemicals to induce cytotoxicity in RHCE tissue construct as measured by the MTT assay. Ang reconstructed human cornea epithelium naman is before siya na-develop, nagkaroon muna ng iba't ibang test like the organotypic and cell-based test method. Ang method naman na ito is lock-in compatibility to the real human eye. Tapos, also this method kay sobra yung mga chemicals na tinitest nila na yung nagalit na talaga siya sa parang hindi na maganda yung result nun doon sa animals na ginagamit nila. Ang parang gi-produce lang good no itong organotypic and cell-based test method kay parang negative lang. Tapos to overcome these errors na meron naman silang gi-develop the 3D human cornea equivalence pero parang same lang ng result nung una. Tapos hanggang sa meron na nga yung reconstructed human cornea-like epithelium na na-develop nga, it's because due to the technical limitation. Tapos lastly, in chemical test naman is example kay ang hemoglobin denaturation. The hemoglobin denaturation test can predict the eye irritation potential of chemicals by assessing the surfactant-induced denaturation of hemoglobin as can be determined by alteration in optical process. Dito naman na test kay or technique is gina-measure nito yung mga multiple na mechanism na involved sa eye irritancy. Tapos, this method kay kaya nito i-measure or malaman nito agad-agad kung ano yung dahilan or kung ano yung mga substance na dahilan ng pangangati ng eye irritancy.